Hi, I'm Alena from Nordic Approach. Welcome to the virtual screen cupping. I am with Joanne. Joanne, say hi.
Hello.
Today, we are going to talk about Dhilgee Ethiopian profile. Joanne, before we start, what is Ethiopian flavor wheel?
Some years ago, it must be 3 or 4 years ago now, when we were buying Ethiopian coffees, we decided that we needed to be able to communicate more about the coffee than just where it was from. And so many coffees are often categorized by the region that they're from. So we decided to better define the different kind of flavor profiles that we saw coming across the cupping table, so the customers could have a better understanding of what the flavor was of all of the coffees that we buy. And as you know, we buy a lot of Ethiopians. So that was the starting point of the flavor wheel. There's 2 parts to it. The left part is the washed coffees with 4 different categories. And the right-hand side is 3 different categories of natural or sort of fermented processed coffees. And then each name is the Amharic or Sidama language for the color that it represents, and has a different description of the profile of that kind of coffee. So today, like you said, we're talking about Dhilgee. So that's a coffee with red berries, purple fruit, sort of round and sweet with some light floral characteristics.
Let's cup.
Let's cup. So I think what's interesting here is that we have coffees from 2 different sites that are both being categorized as having the Dhilgee profile. So if we talk about the Dhilgee Uraga, for me, this is a coffee that very well represents the purple fruit that we're talking about in this profile. Red grape and plum and very dense, heavy purple fruit.
I like this profile, and also I think Dhilgee works best for everyday filter. That's not the classical Ethiopia that you expect, but this is one of the most fruity ones. When you want a round body, a lot of juiciness, I would go for Dhilgee. So I love that there are a lot of stone fruits and the dark ones. But for me, this is very unexpected profile for Uraga, to be honest.
How come?
Yeah, I used to expect some dried fruits and florals from Uraga, so Dhilgee is something new for me for this portion station.
I think it's very interesting how the flavors can be so different from year to year. And I think there's also florals here in the background that are quite subtle, which add a level of complexity to the coffee, which is great.
I agree, but what do you think about Bedessa?
So Bedessa is a much more delicate profile for me, not as heavy in the fruit, more bright and sweet with red berries and florals.
Yes, I agree, and it has much more this berry acidity here. Yes, and some florals on the aftertaste. I also think there are some citruses, but they can be really they could be confused with some red berries, actually. Interesting that both coffees are from Dhilgee profile, but they are still different. I'm just surprised how many Ethiopians could be with the different flavors themselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of different characteristics in Ethiopian coffees. I mean, the level of complexity is so huge and so layered. So I think that's also very interesting. For me, I agree with you completely. The light berry kind of acidity, for me, this coffee has a lot of raspberry-like acidity, which I think is so good. So I really like that coffee for its subtlety.
Yeah, I agree. I love when you can find raspberry in a coffee. This is so rare, and usually expect this from Kenyans. So this is when you are looking for something in Ethiopia, which is similar to Kenya, such like Dhilgee profiles could be one of the options.
Yeah, absolutely. How do our customers find these coffees on the offer list?
If you are looking for this coffee profile in our offer list, just look for Dhilgee at the beginning of the name. And Joanne, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.